this is where he's using the flashlight. And he's like, he goes, I forgot something. He goes, listen, stay here. There's nothing out here that's going to hurt you. Everything is completely fine. All right. I'm going to run right back down to camp. I'm going to grab what I need and I'll be right back. Okay. Now, a lot of people are like, oh my God, that man left a 7-year-old boy up in the, this was 1979.
Right.
What were seatbelts? My dad had a car with a huge back, like dash window. I used to lay up in that back window while we were driving 70 miles an hour down the road. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, right.
And so I'm sitting up in this deer stand and I'm not scared. I'm bored. And I hear the stream, but as I look back and I think about it, that's all I heard was the stream. And listening to the sound of that stream started making me a little tired.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just kind of crossed my legs. I had my legs kind of stretched out and I put my hands like this and I just kind of go like that. And everybody at one point in their time has like jerked themselves awake.
Correct.
Right? That's what happened to me. And I'm like, oh. And so I go and I move my foot and I notice something. My left boot lace is untied. And I'm like, oh, I must have caught it on this homemade deer stand. So I go and I tie my boot again, and I'm sitting there, it's getting a little lighter, you can starting to see more detail and stuff. And again, the rhythm sound of that stream just hit me again. Started nodding off, and as soon as my head went down, I jerk again. But this time it was more my leg than anything. And I look down, and I'll be darned if my boot is not untied again. And I go, Dad? Now we're like 10, maybe 12, 15 feet up in the air in this deer stand. My dad's 5'7". Okay. But I'm 7 years old. I'm not computing that.
Right.
Like, Dad, that's not funny. Right. So I go and I tie my boot again. And now I'm sitting there and I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking and it gets lighter. It's getting lighter. And I hear this loud crack, like maybe 20, 30 feet off to my right-hand side. I mean, it's loud. And I look over real quick to my right to see what that noise was. And I feel my boot jerk again. And I look down and my boot's untied a third time. And I jump up and I'm standing up and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. I'm screaming because I think my dad's up there messing with me or my uncle. And I look over and I can see my dad literally sprinting up this trail. He's got his rifle like this and he's running with his rifle and he's like, shut the F up. If you want to see a deer, you need to shut up. I go, stop untying my boot. And I'm like screaming at my dad. And he's like, whoa. He's like, son, what? I go, Dad, you're not funny. You're scaring me. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go home right now. And he's like, what's happening? I go, you untied my boot. You made a noise and you untied my boot. He's like, whoa, buddy, calm down. Calm down. What happened? So I told him and he's like, okay. So he walks behind the deer stand and behind the deer stand, there's like a clearing. And again, I'm just going to throw a number because I'm not sure it's 100% accurate how wide or how far it was from the deer stand to the tree line. Maybe 50 yards, if that. And it was just a huge, like clear, like little, not like a meadow, but it just had like a bunch of weeds and stuff in it. And so he starts walking behind it. I'm standing up, I'm hugging the tree, and I'm looking off to the side so I can watch my dad. And he starts walking out into this little field area. And he bends down, he kind of touches something, he's kind of looking, and he looks right up at the tree line. He looks right at the tree line. He kind of gets up, he had shouldered his rifle. Well, he takes his rifle off of his shoulder and he starts walking up and he stops. And it was a lever action 30-30, racked around. And now he's got it at the ready. And he walks up a little bit closer. He's probably maybe 25, 30 feet now from the tree line. And now he starts scanning left and right to left with his rifle at the ready, like he's ready to shoot. And all of a sudden he just stops And he looks for a second and he slowly starts backing up. And he goes, Daniel, get out of the tree right now. And I'm like, what? He's like, get out of the effing tree right now. And like, he's dead serious. My dad's a Vietnam vet. He served 2 tours in Vietnam. He used to walk point when he'd go out on patrols. He was a tunnel rat, EOD, that type of stuff. So his senses were very, very keen. And he, again, cussed at me, told me get out of the effing tree, out of the stand, and run back to camp, that he'd be right behind me. And so, again, at this age, Bigfoot is not even a thing.
Right.
It does not exist. Not in my world. Not in my vocabulary. I didn't even know what Patterson-Gimlin was, right? So I start running down the pathways, but I don't hear my dad coming. So I stop. Is my dad still there? And I look, and he sees me, and I told you, and he's like flipping out on me. So I start running down again. I hear my dad running, and then I hear him stop. Well, then I stopped and turned around. I'm looking at my dad, see what he's doing, and he's like this, and he's just watching behind us. He turns around, he sees me standing, and we played this little cat and mouse game probably 2 or 3 more times before we both were at a dead run going down this hill, down this pathway.
Wow. Yeah.
We come flying into camp, and we see my uncle come walking out of the tent. And my dad runs right up to me. He's like, Daryl, what the F are you doing? You're up there messing with Daniel. And my uncle's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? He goes, I just got back into camp. He goes, bud, it's going to be a warm day. Nothing is going to be out and about moving in the day. They're going to stay bedded down. And when it cools down, that's when they're going to come up. And all I heard my dad say was, listen, we got to pack up and we need to get the F out of here right now. So they packed everything up, and my uncle's like, well, what are you talking about? I'll tell you later. So everybody packs, all 3 of us pack our stuff up and we leave. We hike back out. We go back to the logging road that we parked on, and we left. Wow. Now, at the time, did I know what my dad saw? Did I know what my dad heard? No, I didn't. It wasn't until years later, like when I was an adult. Mm-hmm. And I go, Dad, remember that one time out at the hunting camp when you took me up and to teach me hunting? He's like, yep. And now this is already after we had already seen the Sasquatch and things like that. And this is after I had already kind of been checking things out and realizing that certain things have to have certain parts on our body, opposable thumbs, to untie things. And I go, Dad, I said, when I was little, I thought it was like maybe a bear or like a mountain lion. I go, what was it? I go, what did you see? He's like, I didn't see anything. He's like, it's what I heard. He goes, I got up to that tree line and I heard this growl, this deep, deep growl. And he goes, I knew that was not a bear, and I knew that was not a mountain lion. And I did the smart thing. I picked up the hint and I slowly backed out. And that's what that was. Now we had another encounter there, but that's even a longer story. So
you're gonna have to come back and tell that story, man. Wow, Dano. Wow. That is an amazing two stories right there, man, that you brought out there. They're bringing into it. Coming up on time, man, but wow. Dano, I'm at a loss of words, man. Those are actually 2 very amazing encounters, man. I want to thank you for sharing those with the channel, and also sharing your thoughts on what you thought they are. I know that the camps are split. A lot of people think they're spiritual. A lot of people think they're physical. I think there's a mixture of all of them in there, especially when you get into some of the ones down in Oklahoma, the mean ones that are supposedly, cannibalistic during the siege of, Hanobia and the Choctaw Wars down there. So anyways, that's a good place for us to start. Dano, I want you to come back, man. I want to pick it up. I want to do some more deeper divers into to your encounters on that, man. So let me so you're on the hook. All right. So,
all right.
Wow. One more time, Dano, tell everybody where they can find you as we wrap this up real quick here.
You guys can find me on YouTube and Spotify. My schedule for YouTube is Monday through Friday, 6:45 to 7:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. I do a live stream before I start work. I call it Coffee with Dano. So consider jumping in and we talk about cryptids, but it's more of just kind of getting everybody's day going, trying to spread some positive messages and try to get people, to kind of, if you're not happy about your job or whatever, a lot of people aren't happy about their jobs, but hey, just kind of give you some positive energy to kind of get in there and get it going. Every Wednesday and Friday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, I drop a new episode, drop new content. And then on every Saturday night, 7:30 Central Standard Time, 7:30 p.m., I do a live stream where I talk about a cryptid, a group of cryptids, or a specific encounter.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.